Welcome to Dining Fables, a food channel dedicated to going local to eat global. Now I'm really excited about this one. Maidenhead's been going through a big regeneration recently and lots of new food and drink places have been opening up. Sauce and Flour is first on my list as I've always found really good pasta hard to find on the high street. So hopefully this pasta restaurant can solve my problem. Right, let's start by checking out their website and work out what delicious things I'm going to order. I think they might have updated this recently as it looks different to when I checked it originally, so that's good. It's much more visually appealing with some great looking images of their pasta. It's exactly what I hoped for, showcasing fresh pasta at the centre of what they do. It's also got a menu front and centre, so I don't need to hunt for it. Now, so what have they got? Oh wow, this looks seriously enticing. I was assuming that I'd just be going for a main as it could be lunchtime that I'm going, but look at all these starters, they sound great. Especially the baby squid on focaccia. Oh wow. Or there's a selection of meats and cheese, I'm always a sucker for those. What to do? Even the sides sound right up my street. Perhaps I'll go for one of these instead. The broccoli would be amazing, as I've cooked something similar to this myself. Okay, focused. Decide on the main and then see how hungry I get when I get there. So what have we got? I think it's going to have to be between the puttanesca linguine, beef shin pappardelle or the pork and fennel pappardelle. Right, decision made, it's going to be the pork and fennel. As I love fennel, I don't get to eat it very often at home. Done. That's it. Let's get out of the virtual world and into the real world. Let's eat out. After all that decision making online, I very nearly changed my mind after seeing the specials, as they have whole sea bass on the menu today. That's one of my favourite fishes, but I decided to stick with my original choice and add the roasted broccoli with garlic, Calabrian chilli and lemon, to soften the blur of the sea bass. Let's hope it works. Oh yes, that's some good pasta, and I can really taste the fennel too. Just how I hoped it would be. There's also some really lovely crunch from the pangrattato that I wasn't expecting. If you don't know what pangrattato is, it's a crispy, crunchy breadcrumb that you sprinkle over finished pasta dishes to add extra flavour and texture. Trust me on this, it's really good. The word pangrattato actually means breadcrumbs in Italian, sometimes referred to as the poor man's parmesan. Pangrattato is a mixture of fried breadcrumbs that are sprinkled over a finished pasta dish in place of grated parmesan. As you can see, I've had both pangrattato and parmesan. Greedy I know, but why not? I spoke with one of the owners who told me they make their pangrattato from some of their leftover homemade focaccia. I didn't get to try it on this visit, but it did look amazing. The focaccia is then blitzed up with a variety of herbs and garlic, then it's fried, left to cool, and it's added to the dish once the pasta has been plated. It works so well and makes a welcome addition to the soft pasta and sauce. Now for some of the broccoli. It's got just the right bite when mixed with the pasta. Broccoli was never a veg that I'd order, but over the last few years I've recently been converted, so I'm really interested to try this. Oh, that's got an awesome kick of heat. I love it. Yep, that works really well together, especially how it adds a bit more texture to a soft dish, plus a welcome addition of the heat, plus a zing of lemon. One ingredient I'd not come across was the Calabrian chilli. The Calabrian pepper is a remarkable combination of fruity, spicy and salty that leaves a lasting impression on your tongue. Its versatility as an ingredient makes it very handy pepper indeed. It gets its name from the region where it's originally grown and harvested. Calabria in Italy gave birth to the delicious colourful pepper, which has now become a prominent present in Italian cooking. Now I have to talk about the pasta, as this is what drew me to flour and sauce in the first place, with my desire to find great pasta on the high street. Well, as it turns out, that's easy. It's amazing. Flavio the chef makes this wonderful hand-rolled pasta himself, from semolina and free-range eggs, and you can definitely tell. He told me the original idea for the restaurant and why he wanted to set it up was to produce great quality food at a great price. Well, he certainly achieved that goal. During our chat, it turns out they opened the restaurant only 3 months ago, even though they'd lived in the area for 14 years, but they couldn't find any decent pasta either. I just moan about it, but they actually did something about it and opened a restaurant. Thankfully, some people do more than just whine about things. Anyway, back to the pasta. If you ever need an example of fresh versus dried, head on over to Sauce and Flour, as the difference is obvious. But it's crucial to understand that fresh and dry pasta are two totally different beasts, each suited to different tasks. So it's not that one is necessarily better than the other, they just have different qualities. Your typical fresh Italian style pasta is made from a combination of eggs and flour. There are many iterations of a basic formula that exist, but this definition should do for now. The eggs and flour are mixed into a stiff but pliable dough, kneaded, rested and rolled, usually through a machine, and either cut into strips or left in sheets that are used to make lasagna or stuffed pastas like ravioli. Dry pasta, on the other hand, contains no eggs. It's made by mixing semolina flour, a coarse kind of wheat flour, and water. The two are industrially shaped, mixed and dried at low temperatures for optimal storage. Not only is this more convenient than fresh pasta, but a denser, firmer texture and stands up to longer cooking times. That same firm texture means it holds up beautifully under heavy, hearty sauces. In my humble opinion, fresh always tastes better, and I would always hope that it's made fresh in a restaurant, but I'm not that likely to make it at home, so dried is more than sufficient there. If you're like me, you probably don't put a great deal of thought into the kind of pasta you use when you cook. Instead, you grab whatever happens to be in the cupboard, dump it in a pot and cook it, and use the sauce you've created. But thankfully, chefs like Flavia aren't like most people, and they don't randomly match pasta and sauces together. In fact, they take a great deal of time and care to think how they'll complement each other. It's really important to pair the correct type of pasta with a particular type of sauce, so that the sauce can bind to the pasta, or allow the pasta to absorb the sauce dependent on its style. That's why the pork and fennel is served with pappardelle, as it adds to the eating experience and is well balanced with the rich, meaty sauce. So what's my takeaway from my dining experience at Sauce and Flour? Wow. My pasta dilemma has certainly been resolved. Sauce and Flour, I salute you. That was one of the best pasta dishes I've had in ages, and I'm so pleased you took the brave step to open your restaurant 3 months ago, especially in these trying times where restaurants are really struggling. So it's great to hear how busy you are, and I can't wait to come again with my family. If you like this video, then give us a like and a follow, as it will really help the channel to grow. Also, any comments below about where we should tell our next dining fable would be amazing. We really want to grow our community, so grab a fork and get involved.